What's up, guys? This is Craig with Craig's Lawn Care in Duncan, Oklahoma. Today we're going to try to be productive and put some backpack blower racks together. Actually have one of each to put together today, the Equipment Defender and the Green Touch version 3. Um, had problems with the version 2 of the Green Touch last year, so we pulled them off the trailer. Um, didn't complain about it to anybody really. I talked to Jordan briefly about losing one of the backpack blowers because the way the lock sometimes won't catch on that version 2, and without that, nothing to keep that arm in that slot, just lost the blower because of it. So anyways, that's, I just mentioned it to him. He said he was sorry to hear about the blower and they'd work on it, basically. After that, the paint started fading on them. They started to rust. The locks rusted pretty bad. They didn't want to engage, and I forced one of them, well, not really forced, but pushed pretty hard on one of them one day, and the lock just fell apart, the internal parts of the lock. So those were some pretty cheap locks. I know I could have went and switched over to the master lock, but by the time the lock became an issue, I had already lost a blower, so I already had pretty much a bad taste in my mouth for that version of the Green Touch racks. So I just didn't mess with it. We pulled them off the trailer. Dan got wind of it through a Facebook forum. Apologized for the problems. Knew they had problems. Said they were correcting the problems and thought they had them corrected with their new version. I told him by that point, by the time he had contacted me, that we had already pulled off the other blower racks, and I had already placed an order with Equipment Defender for one of the trailers. And he said he was sorry about it, and he sent me the version 3 free, no strings attached or anything. He said, if I wanted to do a review on it, that was fine. If not, that was fine too. I will say Jordan and Dan both seem like, good people. So, but that version 2 just wasn't happy with. So there's actually the version 3 sitting there. I've quickly unboxed the Equipment Defender blower rack. I have to say, just at first glance, there's a lot of parts. I consider myself fairly mechanically inclined, so I don't think I'll have too much issues with it. I'm going to read through this instruction booklet that they gave. It looks like it's pretty well thought out, and they seem to articulate in it what needs to be done. Of course, you know how that goes. We'll get into it and see. I'm going to put this together and give you my initial thoughts after putting it together. I got most of the household tools here. I'm not at the shop. The shop has more of the lawn equipment stuff, but I had the stuff shipped here, and today's not too bad a day in Oklahoma, so I figured might as well come out here and be somewhat productive if I can. So I don't have like my big workspace because my wife has pretty much taken over my shop. So it was supposed to be all just a back wall was going to be hers, and then before you know it, it's creeping, and so it's kind of crowded in here, and it definitely needs to get sorted out. But I cleared off enough room, I think, to get this Equipment Defender backpack rack put together. This is their version 2. I don't know if I had mentioned that or not. So I'm going to find a place to stick this GoPro, and I'm just gonna sit here and try to figure this out. I guess you guys can watch. I'll probably end up speeding it up because I imagine this is not going to be 5-minute put together. I can just tell by looking at it. I mean, there are all kinds of hardware. Yeah. They look like they're labeled pretty good what they do. Like, that's extra hardware for the version 2 backpack blower. That bag's for enclosed trailer mounting, which I don't have, so I'll stick that over there. There's Loctite, and I noticed reading the instructions that everything needs to be Loctited. That always concerns me a little bit when you start having Loctite stuff. Angle bracket for some hardware. Angle bracket hardware. That's the extra hardware one. And it's the open trailer mounting. Well, I don't think I need the mounting stuff right now. We'll need that. So it looks like I got 2 bags of hardware for what I'm going to be doing. And this was just randomly sitting in there. So I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I'm going to start reading this real quick and getting it put together. Like I said, I'm just going to... Oh, you guys can watch. I'll fast forward it through editing or whatever, and then I'll give you my my initial thoughts after putting this together, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll see what that does. I'm not sure. Lighting in here sucks, so, but I think you'll get the gist of it. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways. Alright. That wasn't too bad. I haven't done the version 3 of the Green Touch. I'm assuming it's going to be a lot like the version 2. If that's the case, Green Touch is easier to put together, obviously. Lots of pieces. The manual was, or the assembly instructions were pretty concise. There was a couple things that weren't mentioned that I just, not paying attention, didn't do. This back strap bar right here, there's only one way it can go on, and if I'd have paid more attention, I'd have noticed that this part here sits back further, and I had it upside down, so I had to take this apart, this back off to put it the right way. If I'd have been paying more attention, I'd have caught that, but I didn't, and I didn't see it mentioned, because I read everything in here. I didn't see it mentioned that, hey dummy, this can only go one way. I don't know why a lot of times with instruction booklets they don't say that, All it says for that step is install the support bracket onto the straight steel rod, leave it loose for now. Of course, if I'd have looked at the picture a little bit better, I might have caught that it only goes on one way, because it does show it going the correct way. So, part me, part them, you decide. Anyways, some things I don't like about this. Actually, there's 3 or 4 things I don't like about this assembly process. One, these things, horrible. Can't remember what these are called. They're not the T. They have that little hole in the center that on the bolt has a little tit that sticks out, and it fits over it. I'm assuming they do that for security reasons because not everybody carries this crap. But I'd have much rather them just been regular T-bolts, used a socket and a ratchet over these things, like these. It'd have been a lot easier to done those with a ratchet. I mean, anybody who's put anything together know these little L wrenches, they suck. They absolutely suck. A couple of the threads on this bracket here, I don't know if there's just too much enamel in there or what, but they didn't thread in very well. They thread in, 5-6 turns with your fingers, and then they become, I don't even have this one tight right here, and I was cranking on it. So, I know I'll get it. I may have to take it back off and throw some WD-40 in there or something. But that one on that side and that one on that side were both like that. Nothing too big to really gripe about, I guess. Concerns. I want you to use this Loctite on pretty much everything. That's great and all, but this unit has to be sized. Everything has to be sized for each individual blower. This slides in and out, this slides up and down. Even this slides up and down to catch the backpack. This one's probably going to go on our Red Max, so it's different. And then I have one, it's going to be for the BR 600, and yeah. So they're going to be different. Now, if you're Loctite and all this stuff, I don't know about you guys. I guess that's fine for people who only have one backpack blower or two backpack blowers. But a lot of these companies have 3, 4, 5, 6. We interchange depending on the job. And when you buy a new one, you're going to have to go back, try to break these free. They're not going to be that hard, I don't expect. But it's not. These racks are not going to be on the fly kind of thing. I don't think. I don't know if the minor adjustments really matter that much for like putting a EBZ 8500 or BR 700 or whatever. I don't know. But the interchangeability part of it that might be a problem. Might not be. I don't know. Just my first thoughts. Also in the manual. It says, note, if you wish to achieve maximum security, bolt screw heads can be filled with epoxy. Well, that comes right back to the other point I was making. If this thing has to be adjusted every time you put a different blower on it, putting epoxy in those is going to make that thing difficult at best. You're either going to have to drill the epoxy out, melt it out somehow, just to get to the bolts so you can do your adjusting if you switch blowers. If you're going to have a BR 700 or whatever, EBZ 8500 or Echo, whatever, on there for the life of the rack, yeah, but how many of us are going to do that? We're going to switch blowers all the time, 3, 4 years, whatever. These racks, they should last longer than that. So if you go around epoxying all these, what they're talking about, I think, or, the star on these little pins. If you're going to epoxy every one of these, you better think twice, because how are you going to get the epoxy out to readjust these? So in that regard, obviously we're not going to epoxy them. I'm not really going to use these for that much security for us. Where IMO, security isn't near as much the issue is just keeping them up and out of the way. We'll see. I think the way the bar works on this, one-handed operation, I think that's great. This has got molded plastic on it. So all in all, I think that'll be great. My only other concern is these swings. I don't know. With the rain and stuff getting down in there, that might become a problem, especially for you guys where there's a lot of rain. We only get about 30, 35 inches of rain here in Oklahoma, where I live, annually about. So I don't know if that's going to be. Probably ought to just do some maintenance with it. Put some WD-40 in there once in a while, and it'll probably be all right. Definitely a lot harder than the Green Touch to put together. Functionality wise, I already scraped it up just getting it in and out of there. Oh well. Anyways, functionality wise, I think this probably will work better for us than the Green Touch, but we'll see. There's still a long ways to go. I mean, it's put together, but I got to go mount it on the trailer, pick the right blower to put in here, get everything. The back piece slides up and down where it needs to be. The front piece slides up and down. I mean, all these adjustments need to be made. So it's definitely going to be blower specific. I mean, that's kind of good and kind of bad. I mean, just depending on how you look at it. Obviously, that goes right there. But all these, they want them to be Loctited in there. So, and you can't do that. You're going to have to put it on, get it where you want, mark it, take your blower back off, Loctite it, tighten them back up, and then you'll be done. So to me, it seems like there's a few extra steps here that you may or may not need, or may not want to do. But when I first opened up this box, I'm like, oh my god. Lots of stuff. But the instructions were pretty good, and they went together okay. I guess that's it for the Equipment Defender assembly right now. We're starting to lose a little bit of daylight here, so I'm going to not worry about the getting it adjusted for the blower just yet, and I'm going to start on the version 3 of the Green Touch. So I'll put you guys back up on the mount, and we'll go from there with the Green Touch. I don't think there's going to be very many people that'll be able to say they put a Equipment Defender together and in the same afternoon put a Green Touch one together. So it ought to be pretty good in the comparison department. So I'm going to stick you all back up here on the mount and get this one out of the way and get the Green Touch open and get started on it. That's kind of cool. Alright. Well, like I said, no doubt. Green Touch is definitely easier to put together. One thing I got to do with this is when I get it on a trailer, find out exactly what angle I want to get that at. Got the bigger bar. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to, which blower I'm going to use in this. Like I said, we had 2 of the version 2s and pulled them both off. Dan just gave me the one to try, so I'll probably use it for the BR, maybe. It'll probably be the Stihl to go on there. I'm not sure which bar, but it's just a little Allen wrench that they include to just take those 2 screws out there. That pin pulls out, and just slide the other bar in its place. So my initial thoughts, everything's, I mean, like, this is rubber coated now. Hopefully, I think Dan said they had upgraded their locks. If not, I will definitely put a better lock on there and squirt a little bit of WD-40 down underneath, because I think as soon as a little bit of rain gets in there, I think that's what starts the problem. Dan did tell me on the phone when I was talking to him that the batch that I got, I guess, or all of them or whatever, they were made here in America, but there was EPA issues with something with the paint. They couldn't use the same kind of paint, so unfortunately, because of that, they had to start, getting them made in China, which that always sucks. I always try to buy American when I can, but it's also got to be practical for the business. So if I was in his shoes, I probably would have done the same thing, honestly. This up here sets my mind at ease, because even if this fails, or if we don't lock it in between jobs, there's no way this arm is going to swing open and the blower come out. Side by side of them. Pretty sure the Equipment Defender weighs a lot more. I can tell you this. The Equipment Defender definitely, I think, had a lot more hours of engineering going in it. Of course, on the other side, you got the simplicity of the Green Touch, which, in our field, sometimes less is more. For me, it'll be whether or not it holds up to the elements. Dan says they have the problems addressed, and I believe him. Time will tell. We'll be able to definitely do apples to apples with both of these. No doubt in my mind, if you're the one, like me, I'm usually the one that always puts the equipment together. If you're looking for ease, go to the Green Touch. Hands down. I don't know what that take. 2 minutes. It took me longer to unwrap the plastic off the bar than it did really put the thing together. The Equipment Defender. It wasn't too bad, but it was definitely. I probably could have put, maybe 10 Green Touches together in the time it took me to put one of those together. So, I mean, if some of you guys, run a lot of crews and need a lot of these, and you value your time, Green Touch may be the way to go. For me, I'm just doing this on a day off. It doesn't really matter. That would not be a not buy or a buying point for me one way or the other, the time it took. But I think if you had to pay somebody, $10, $12 an hour, put these things together or whatever, I would go with the Green Touch, I think the way the arm swings on the Equipment Defender, I think for different equipment, I think it probably would be better than, the Green Touch. The problem I've always had with the Green Touch, even the old one, was that drastic bend on the open trailers. I mean, that bend is, some of the other guys, they talk about it too. I could probably rig something up. We may have to. I think I will. I need one more, really, for the 16-foot trailer. I'm not sure if I want to buy another Equipment Defender to put on the 16-foot trailer with this version 3 Green Touch, or just buy another Green Touch, or just for the time being just run with the one backpack blower on the blower rack anyways, because I really don't want to buy another one and then have the same problems that we've already experienced. Other than that, I guess it's going to be like a Ford Chevy kind of thing. Everybody's going to have their preference. Everybody's going to have their likes and dislikes about each unit, I'm sure. And some folks will gravitate one way or the other. Like I said, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely use both of them this season. And I'll make an update video, which one lasted the rigors of employees and just, weather and the stupidity that sometimes happens out there on the lawn crew. And we'll see. I know that a lot of people who love the Green Touch run the enclosed trailers. Although I really think when they did the version 2 of the of the Equipment Defender. They got that now. Depending on where you have to adjust this, it is pretty darn close to the same width, if not skinnier. I think it actually is skinnier than the Green Touch. So the guys who had concerns about the space of the original version sticking up off the wall of the enclosed trailers, I don't think that's going to be an issue for you guys anymore. Like I said, apples to apples. I'll give you the review in a few months after we get some work on these. I think if Green Touch really has fixed the paint problem, and now with this being secure, no matter what happens to the lock, this thing is not going to swing open and cause the blower to bounce out, possibly. I think the Green Touch, for simplicity reasons, is probably the better one. Fixing this right here is a game changer. Now on the Equipment Defender, I like the functionality. I like this lock system. I really do. I mean, you can one-hand this. This one ain't quite as easy to, one-hand it. I mean, you can do it, but I think ease in operation, one-handed, I would go with the Equipment Defender. But how many guys are out there blowing with one hand? So everybody's got two arms. So the Green Touch wasn't an issue with on and off or anything like that with the version 2. So I think it's not going to be a factor at all. I do like on the Equipment Defender, just my first thoughts of, you have a lot of play of where you want to put this thing. I mean, it's up, down, all over the place. So I think with that, for anybody's setup, because everybody's setup's different, I think that might be I think I might give the edge to Equipment Defender on that one, but we'll see. Alright, this has already been way too long of a video, so I'm going to condense it down, especially all my goof ups and putting these two together. Like I said, I will definitely let you guys know how they work out, how they hold up to the 110 degree temperatures we have here, and the constant sun and stuff like that. We don't generally have a water problem. We only get 35 inches of rain a year compared to some of you guys in Florida and coastal regions. So I wouldn't have thought we would have the problems we had with the paint and the rust on the last Green Touch either, but we did. So we'll get this all done, get this wrapped up, and hope everybody has a good season. Be safe out there. Peace.